Welcome back to another week of fall watching. I have a feeling we're about to get absolutely body slammed. We have an incoming snowstorm, and by that I mean it's supposed to rain a bit tonight, and then it's supposed to turn to snow. They keep pushing it back. Originally they were like, like midnight, and then 2 a.m., now 4 a.m. Are you actually doing something, or are you you're still thinking about it? Am I cool to yap for a little bit, or do I need to pause? That answers that question. Okay. Anyway, snowstorm is incoming. It's supposed to snow for basically 24 hours, then turn to rain and ice again, and go from there, I guess. I don't know. It's going to be a whole thing. It's going to be nasty. So obviously, we got that going on. Plus, there is a full moon on the 12th. So tomorrow, essentially. Day after, I don't know, a day. Why are we all doing things at the same time? So many things are happening right now. Before you ramble about the critters, let me introduce you all to our kid from the weekend, because we did have a kid from the weekend. And so let's say hi to him really quick, because he broke the filly pattern, which has been very tough to do. And then let me check in with these mares, because I'm leaning to we're more likely going to have a baby tomorrow. But this one specifically in question is making me wonder a tad if we're going to have one tonight as well. But it took long enough. We finally have a Zandon colt. She goes, listen, I was all for trying to get him out during the daytime. He was being stubborn. I tried. I was walking laps and everything, and he was like, no, I'm cozy in here. It's fine. That reminds me, you are supposed to be wearing something. Where'd you put it? I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah. Do we remember at the beginning of last week when I said the gunite? That's what she was. The gunite baby, her tummy wasn't feeling too great, so we had started her on meds. You're doing the same thing right now. It was, yeah. My tummy don't feel very good. I know. It's okay. We take care of you. But you're supposed to, actually use what I give you. It will make you better. But yeah, and people wonder how you can spot like a sick baby right off the bat. You can just kind of see him. He's just kind of sad looking. He's like, I don't know what you're talking about. And also, poor mom, he's eating. Like, he will nurse, but he's not eating in like a full amount. And so that's why he's, being monitored, non-meds and all that jazz. And if I need to call the vet to do fluids, then we can do that later. But as of right now, he's still eating. He's like, my tummy just hurts and I don't want to eat everything. I can't gorge like I'm supposed to. No, my poor little babe. It's okay. Yes. But that does mean, listen, freaking every time we clean all these stalls, we spray them with bleach before and after, right? And the general rule of thumb is if it survives bleach, it kind of deserves to live at that point. But the thing is there is something there's two different things that can cause a baby to kind of have an upset tummy when they're born this early. And one of those things, here's the thing. This was a big argument a couple years ago because there was a really, really nasty case going around. The vets and the researchers were the ones who were like, oh, it's just a new strain of Rhoda. It's a new strain of Rhoda. I think every single one of us who dealt with it were like, this is not Rhoda. I don't know what the hell this is. This is not normal. But the only thing we can kind of think of is that I think that winter was really weird before going into foaling season, and we think something didn't die like it was supposed to, like it normally does in winter. That's the only thing we could come up with. But they were like, it's just Rhoda. It was not Rhoda. No, it was not Rhoda. But no, and like, I don't know. I think there's supposed to be like a special new testing vaccine, and so I think we were supposed to be on the list of testers. So I don't know. That's a day shift problem. But regardless, all I know is I'm on med duty, and if I need to make an emergency call for fluids, we can. Yeah. In the meantime, I'm going to give you your stuff back. And we should see here in about 4 hours the new meds I gave you, because I gave you new stuff. And that kicks in, makes you feel better. Yeah, I guess. But it's only you. The other filly, she should be done with meds. Will you quit nibbling on my phone? the other filly that was on meds, she should be off of it starting tomorrow, they said. So now it's just you. So why was it just you two? He goes, oh no. He goes, but he just kind of plays. Like he'll nurse. But he is mainly kind of just playing with it. Anyway, I'm gonna let you sniggle your little bit. Then you're getting back in jail. This is the Omaha Beach. She came in really fast. She went from like, not really a lot to suddenly bam. And yesterday, or last night, the Weekend Night Watch said she was extremely uncomfortable and they actually thought she was gonna go last night, and then she didn't. And since I've been here, she's been fairly uncomfortable, digging, pacing, digging. She's currently on and off cribbing a little bit. She's one I wouldn't be overly surprised if she goes tonight. Man, now that I accidentally left the flash on for her to see her tatas, it's gonna stay on, and I hate that. Can you see from here? Kinda not really. The two fills still's got some wax. She's one that I had said last week I wouldn't be surprised if she holds off until like middle of this week. I still think we're kind of on track for that. I don't necessarily expect her to go tonight. I think more towards Wednesday, which honestly kind of checks out because that will be kind of the day of chill from like when we're going to go from snow to rain. So that's definitely up for option. Oh, I don't know how to open doors. Hi, Mom. And then last but not least, the Vacoma over here. She had wax when I checked on her earlier. I know, I'm sorry, you can't see me from this side. I will be on your other side, I'm so sorry. She's like, what were you doing over there? I don't know. But yeah, she had wax when I left her the other day, and she actually had some earlier, but she seems to have knocked it off. She's one that I had originally guessed. Okay, please. Okay, thank you. She's one I had originally guessed was for Valentine's Day-ish. And I'm kind of leaning toward that still, like Valentine's Day or even a couple days after Valentine's Day, maybe the weekend. So those are the three who I am like definitely for sure I'm expecting them to go sometime this week, right? Then, goodness, because of obviously the incoming storm, the full moon, I am expecting I'm expecting some progress for some other ladies. Where like necessarily right now, like they don't have wax and like their boobs are kind of full, but not like huge, or like, you know, they're just kind of stagnant right now. I would be surprised to see some of those ladies make some progress. The Mandaloon in particular is one of those. Really, honestly, the only one I'm not even thinking about is this cyber knife over here. She hasn't done Jack Diddley Squat. She doesn't look like she's going to do Jack Diddley Squat. So I got the Mandaloon over there. I got 2 Elite Powers and a Practical Joke that I have a feeling, I wouldn't be overly surprised if they end up kind of, not foaling this week, but maybe more next week. I just kind of expect progress from them. Anyway, that's kind of where we're sitting at tonight. I think our best bet is definitely going to be the Omaha Beach down there. She's been uncomfortable, and it's just vibes, I guess. And then I also wouldn't be surprised if we get body slammed this week with the Omaha, not the Omaha, well, yeah, obviously the Omaha Beach, but also with the, I already forgot your name, the two fills, that's what I'm thinking of, the Vacoma, and then, in all honesty, I wouldn't be overly surprised simply because she's a maiden if the Mandaloon throws her hat into the ring for this week rather than next week, but we'll go from there, see how it goes. Obviously, my barn is getting pretty full. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 kids in this barn right now and only a couple empty stalls. And I'm actually going to be, because we actually brought everybody inside tonight because of this incoming storm, because we don't like it when it rains first and then gets cold / snow / ice, because that's when it's hardest for them to keep warm because their coat gets wet. It's typically not that big of a deal if they're dry and then it snows, because typically, you know, they'll keep themselves insulated. But when it rains, it's harder for them to do that. So we brought everybody inside for the night, and my next group of mares that are due are in one of the bottom barns, so I'm gonna peek at them too tonight and see if I need to tell them to move anybody into this barn for sure. typically we move them into this barn about a month-ish out, give or take. It kind of just depends on life. But yeah, that's so I have a feeling we're officially in February that some of my March mares are going to start moving in. Some of my older babies are going to get kicked out and go to a different barn. And, you know, just going off of everything based off vibes, I guess. No, stay up there. Before I do my random yap story time, the Vacoma has like the tiniest little bit of wax again. She was pretty quiet. The only thing I can note is she never laid down last night. And the two fills is something I wouldn't be surprised if she pops during the daytime. But realistically, I definitely think next 48 hours is for sure when she's going to go. So that's kind of the vibes right now. As for my third one that I had mentioned earlier, where I was like, if anyone's going to go, it's her, she went. And we had to take a little field trip to the vet clinic, which is our first of the year. So here's the thing. Obviously, we're not foaling 1 to 5 mares, right? We're foaling anywhere from like 40 to 60, just depending on life. And because of that, we're more likely to run into like a potential issue, right? We're really well aware that more than likely, a minimum, we're going to be taking like 3 trips to the vet clinic. And sometimes those vet trips are like, listen, we're probably being a little dramatic. We're being a little overcautious. But we're going to take you just in case, just for peace of mind, you know? And then other times we're like, no, you're going to go because you scared the absolute shit out of us. So that's kind of the two vibes of like when we make the decision to take a baby to the vet clinic. Sometimes it's like really minor and like it's kind of more of a just in case. And other times they ain't got a choice. They're going. This kid, first off, I got my ass absolutely kicked by this kid. As in, my freaking backup was laughing at me. He goes, you're getting your ass handed to you by this kid. I'm like, do you know how embarrassing that is right now? Like, shut up. Don't point it out. Anyway, the delivery was relatively, like, easy. Like, there wasn't any, like, she tried to fall standing, but, like, we were there to catch it and everything. So, like, everything was fine. But, like, baby was a DOA. Like, it was not breathing, no heartbeat, no, you can poke around the eyeball to like test for neurological stuff to like see if there's a response. That's what I was looking for, neurological response. So you poke just to see if they're gonna blink or react, or and there was none of that. So it was all 3 things were not working, and so we started CPR and oxygen, right? And we got the heart going, but like still no neurological response, still no breathing. And so I said it was like 10 minutes. Backup said it was 15. But we decided, we're not making any progress. It's not doing anything. The heartbeat is actually slowing down. They're like, and it's fading. I think we're gonna have to call it. I don't think it's gonna live. Obviously, it had never took a breath. Like at this point, it was not breathing. Right? Then there was still no neurological response, and we had gotten a heartbeat, and then it was fading. So, freaking, we called it. We're like, okay, I guess it's not gonna live. And so we took away the oxygen and we went to go help the mare because the mare was just kind of standing there looking at us like, what are you doing? It was her first baby. She's like, I don't know what's happening right now. I was like, I don't either. Anyway, we don't touch it for like 2 minutes. And then all of a sudden I turn and look at it because I could have swore I saw it like twitch out of the corner of my eye, and it blinked, and I was like, it just blinked at me. And then all of a sudden it took a really big breath and like sat up, and I was like, oh my God, you're alive. That's a thing. So admittedly, this thing was dead. It was dead for at least like 10-15 minutes, right? Like it never at any point took a breath from the start of foaling to when it was out. And like we had gotten the heartbeat going, but it wasn't really strong enough to like be productive. So I don't know what jump started it, but something happened and it suddenly sat up and became alive. And then obviously so we put it back on oxygen and we're taking care of it again. And at this point, sometimes when this stuff happens, they get a really big adrenaline rush. And so she had an adrenaline rush. And so we had to calm her back down and got her to relax.
And so when we got her to relax and got her stable, we're like, off to the clinic you go. Because obviously she was without oxygen. She wasn't breathing for a very extended period of time. And that can obviously have neurological issues. And so when we left her at the clinic, she seemed fine. She was still, let me tell you, she kicked my ass. She hit me so hard in the face. Like, I felt like my glasses make a sound and my nose. And she also kicked me in the butt. I'm pretty sure I have a bruise on my butt. Like, she was fighting. Like, she was, like, I came out swinging. I was like, stop. I was like, I can't help you like this. Like, you have to calm down. Anyway, it took like 3 of them to get her out of the trailer because she was like kicking and squealing and like was like, don't touch me. I was like, bro, we're trying to help you here. Anyway, so she was fine. Like, we dropped her off and she seems fine as of right now. Obviously the next 48 hours are kind of the big question mark, because that's when we're going to find out if she starts developing seizures. Then more than likely we'll have to put her down, because that's when there's signs of potential neurological issues. But if she is fine, then she should be home by end of this week or next week. So yeah, that's kind of the vibe. This isn't the first time that this has happened. Like, it happens every once in a while. Not like, no, I'm not saying it happens every year. It doesn't. I don't think I've done one of these in. It's been a while, but it can happen. So that was how the night went. Realistically, I guess we'll figure out what she decides to do over the next couple days, and whether or not she comes home. But yeah, that was a dramatic way to start the week. Didn't appreciate that. I listen, the fact that it's embarrassing. I really got my ass handed to me by something that was dead. And then like 2 minutes later, she's whooping my ass. I was like, Jesus Christ. I have so many bruises. It was, anyway, hopefully, that was all the drama for the week. It would be nice if that's all the drama for the year, but realistically, I know it's probably not going to happen. So yeah, I guess we're going to clog out. I'm going to go take a nap because I'm exhausted. And then I'm sure when I wake up, it's going to be white outside because the snow has arrived. But yeah, I guess until tomorrow. It is Tuesday evening, almost Wednesday morning. I have a feeling if we have a baby tonight, it's most likely going to be the 2 fills. I think I said yesterday that I wouldn't be surprised, or I said this morning, I wouldn't be surprised if she goes in the next 48 hours. She's still got wax and all that jazz. She's been like a tad shifty, you know, like nothing too much, but just shifty enough. Or I went ahead and laid out well, you can't see it, but I went ahead and laid out my stuff for whenever she's ready. I still think the Vacoma is going to wait till closer to Valentine's Day, but she's also something I wouldn't be overly surprised if she does hold off a little bit afterwards. But yeah, that's kind of the current vibe for right now. Zombie baby from last night is still kicking, so that's also good. And yeah, overall tonight, I'm kind of just mainly doing a lot of medications tonight. I've got one baby came off of meds and I have another one back on, so it is what it is. Yeah, I'm wondering if that 2 fills is gonna pop tonight, because she's definitely been fairly uncomfortable, fairly shifty. Anyway, I guess we'll wait and see what she decides to do. Oh. I know. Oh, what are you doing? Are you trying to find a place to lay down, or are you going to be nosy? Because I don't know. I haven't really thought about it yet. Anyway, I guess the Colts realized that the Phillies were getting a little bit too far ahead because they decided to add another one to their ranks. And we now have a 2 fills Colt. I will say, Mama was very close to being a year past her due date. She was technically due January 15th, and she just made sure he was nice and cooked. She was like, yeah, totally. I planned it.
Bless. She's been really, this is her first baby, and she's been very, very good. But she's definitely like a little sensitive when he goes like toward her boob. And she tries so hard to be so still. But then she's also like, I don't want you to touch me. And she goes, please don't touch me. And then he touches her, and she squeals a little bit. And then he grabs onto the boob, and she's totally fine. But that initial touch, I don't know. She's just like, don't touch me. And he's looking, are you trying to poop or look for a place to lay down? And he's like, all of the above. I don't know. Maybe I'll just keep walking in circles. That's fine. Oh, Lord. I know. Goodness. Are you having fun? It's like, I guess. I had to laugh. Freaking... He's got quite a bit of leg, right? And he's a little touch soft behind. He'll grow out of that here in the next couple days. But I went to... He was really, really close to standing. And I kind of went to kind of just help him balance. Like, not actually, like, help him stand. Just help him balance, because that's all we needed. And then he would have been fine. And so I helped him, you know, and he's doing like a champ, being awesome. And I freaking... and I let him, I like walk away, and he's doing great for all of 25 seconds. And I don't know what he did. He like flew backwards and like thwacked himself back on the ground. And he just goes, nee. And I was like, I'm okay. I'm just like, Jesus. And then the second time he was completely fine. He got it. And then, like, 5 minutes later, he's, like, running around and bucking. And I was like, yeah, okay. I was like 5 minutes ago, you didn't almost concuss yourself. He's like, yeah, will you just lay down? He goes, I haven't found the right spot. He's like, it's so hard being a baby. It is. So difficult. I'm sure as soon as I leave, he'll lay down. Maybe. I'll leave you alone. That includes you two. We must exit. Besides that, what else happened? Well, I mean, there was a few that were definitely kind of shifty. The Vacoma still has some wax. She never laid down last night, which is something to note, because she is one that typically lays down and sleeps a lot. Same thing with the Mandaloon. Mandaloon never laid down and took a nap last night. I know. Mandaloon never laid down and took a nap last night. She also now has the tiniest bit of wax. And overall, though, I'm not necessarily surprised, considering her neighbor is the one who popped, and there is a window and all that jazz. And then also, one of the elite powers down here got a little shifty toward like the very end of the night. But she doesn't have wax. She could still use some filling out. So realistically, I think she just maybe had an uncomfortable baby moment. And I don't necessarily think she's going to pop this week. I'm fairly certain that these two over here should pop. Again, I've been saying the Vacoma is going to go Valentine's Day. I still kind of feel good about that. But I definitely think they should pop this week/weekend. If they hold off, I think the latest would be like early, like Monday, Tuesday next week type vibe. That's kind of how I feel. Like I have a feeling they'll go this week, and like the latest would be Monday, Tuesday. Which is, it's nice because we've kind of knocked out this whole side of the barn, and it kind of lets us focus on, you know, I've been able to focus per section, you know, and so I got these three that are kind of also next on the list, but there's something that I'm like, yeah, more like maybe next week or week after type vibes. That also being said, obviously my barn is pretty full with a lot of babies right now. I have a feeling that either sometime in the next couple days or next week, I'm going to be having a lot of new hellos to say, because I think it's about time we bring our March babies in, or our future March babies in. Basically what will happen is we're going to take a lot of these older babies. Some of them have actually been already going outside together in a group, because they're old enough to now. But they'll actually get booted. They're going to go down to one of the bottom barns, and they're going to vibe out there together. And we're going to bring in my March mares, who are actually currently down in that bottom barn, and we're just going to do a little switcheroony and bring those ladies up here to get ready to have babies. And these kids get to go on and just, go to the big kid barn. You're not little babies anymore. They're like, we still are babies. What are you talking about, huh? Yeah. Isn't that right? Yeah, little baby no more. You have to wear big kid halters, and you get to go out with buddies. She's like, sure, okay. Anyway, I guess we're gonna see if we're gonna get that Valentine's baby or not. Listen, I try not to say it, but I always say it. But like, we have always been pretty consistent with having a Valentine's baby. And then last year I had like 3 that I was like, for sure, someone's gonna go Valentine's Day. 'Cause they were waxed up, dripping milk, blah 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 blah. And they freaking waited till after midnight. I was like, how dare you? The audacity. But let's see if this year is different. It is now Wednesday evening. I wouldn't be overly surprised if we have a kiddo tonight. I have a feeling it is going to be the Mandaloon over here. She kind of sped run everything, which isn't really a surprise. I think, was it you or TikTok? I showed somebody boobs last week, and I used her as an example of like maiden boobs versus potential non-maiden boobs. And going back and looking at her, like, yeah, she had a little bit of boob, but not like a lot. She came fast, which isn't a surprise considering a couple factors. One, it's actually currently raining again. The weather has just been up, down, up, down, up, down. So is the temperature. A lot of things have been happening on that aspect. And also tonight, tomorrow, yesterday, the full moon was either tonight or yesterday. So full moon is in progress. Also, freaking... her besties, outside besties, are this mare and then the other mare that also folds. So her 2 buddies are the ones who fold over the last 2 days. The weather's been doing weathery things, and we had a full moon. I wasn't surprised that she like sped run her progress, and she's got a lot of wax. She's got some boobs. She's been a little bit uncomfortable. Goodness. So I wouldn't be surprised if she goes tonight. That being said, that leaves me with my Vacoma. My Vacoma still has like a touch of wax. I was kind of hoping she's my Valentine's Day baby. Goodness. I'm wondering if she's gonna wait till after Valentine's Day. Listen, I've been talking about her for 2 weeks being my Valentine's Day. Goodness, what else is happening? The rain increase is what is going on. It got all my babies all excited. What are you doing? So much is happening right now. Everyone's all shifty. Anyway, I guess I'm gonna shut up now. Maybe that will keep him calm. But yeah, I think the Vacomas are a better chance for Valentine's Day baby, but I'm also not gonna put it past her to wait until after Valentine's Day. Is she gonna wait for my birthday? No, that's rude. Anyway, guess we're gonna buckle in and see what time the Mandaloon decides to go. I need to find something, but gloves for my boots. That's what I've been looking for, and I don't know where they put them. This is what happens when I leave men in charge to organize things. They don't tell me where they organize it, and then it's 8 o'clock at night and I don't know where anything is, or 2 a.m. in the mornings. I don't know where anything is. Anyway, I'm gonna go look for that. It is Thursday morning. Surprisingly, the Mandaloon ended up not popping yesterday. She was pretty like on and off uncomfortable until about 10:30, and then she settled down. And then she was quiet pretty much all night and all day. And she started up again, just being a little shifty, and like not bad, just kind of like constantly just like this, like rocking a little bit. She started doing that around like 9-ish, and so I'm curious to see if she's just gonna do the same thing as she did last night, or she's just gonna get uncomfortable for a while and settle down, or she's actually gonna fold. I'm kind of leaning toward the second one, where she's actually gonna fold tonight, because I was definitely a little surprised that she didn't go last night. But it is like once she settled down, and after like an hour and a half of her being quiet, I was like, yeah, she's not gonna go. But I was just like, okay. But in my opinion, she's a little bit more uncomfortable tonight than she was last night, so that's why I'm thinking she's gonna go tonight. In the meantime, we also have the Vacoma over here that may or may not go. She's been really quiet though, so I think she's gonna wait a little bit longer because she's just been really chill. She hasn't done anything. That being said, I do have a new hello to say. If we remember how I was saying on, what was it, Monday night, Tuesday morning, about a kid taking a little field trip, she's back, so we'll say hello to her in a bit. But I'm gonna wait and see if this mare's gonna foal first before we say hey to that kid. This is not the best view of her at the moment, but our little zombie baby has returned, our little Omaha Beach. They said at the vet clinic on the first night we dropped her off, she figured out how to stand up on her own and she was getting around. The second day, she figured out how to nurse. And the third day, they said she was great. She was running around being a problem. And they were like, okay, we're going to send her home with you tomorrow. And we said, cool. And then they almost didn't let us take her home. Because if you remember the Zandon from the beginning of this week, who I said had an upset tummy, who's doing great now, by the way. He's on his like last little round of meds. Anyway, they said he had an upset tummy. Obviously, she was at the vet clinic, so it wasn't like she was exposed to the outside world or anything, but, you know, it's a vet clinic. No matter how much you freaking bleach and disinfect and everything, germs still fly around. And so they said that she also developed an upset tummy, and, well, we were like, well, we're already treating an upset tummy at home. Just bring her home. No big deal. I can run fluids, obviously. And so that's what she's currently doing. But I think tonight is actually going to be her last night for fluids. She has been great. She's been handling everything wonderfully. But yeah, our little zombie baby, our Omaha Beach baby, has returned home. And she's just having a ball in there. You can't even eat, babe. You have a muzzle on. She goes, no. The world is evil. Yeah, well, I don't. You were the one who just came out kicking. Well, not really. You didn't come out kicking at all. You were dead. And then you resurrected yourself. Somehow, I did. I don't know what happened. It just happened. It doesn't matter. You're here now. You're here now, and just let me tell you, she freaking. I will always. They're sick. There are babies like when they're sick. You can tell when they're sick, and they don't feel good because they don't fight you on anything. And then there's babies like this that will kick your ass every time you go to do meds. It is a battle. It is an all-out war. I'm like, I'm not even poking you. You have a catheter in. And she's like, this is war. I'm like, okay, awesome, fabulous. Love this for all of us.
I'm not gonna lie, I've lost my mojo, okay? I have, admittedly. It's been a weird week because we've had quite a few babies, and that's not really like why I lost my mojo. It's just I've got 2 babies on meds, and I think that's what messed up my mojo. And so it's just, I don't know. Regardless, it's Saturday morning, Valentine's Day, so Friday. I was all like, man, I wonder if we're gonna have baby. And then she like didn't do anything, like at all, at night. And I kind of made the joke on TikTok. I was like, I wonder if she's just gonna fall in the daytime. Because historically, for whatever reason, we do happen to have a lot of Valentine's babies. And more specifically, we tend to have a lot of Valentine's babies during the day. And I was like, I wonder if she's gonna wait and fall in the day. She fall during the daytime. So I get to show you our Valentine's baby. But as for what happened tonight, besides me running around, I hate this catheter. I swear it's kinked somewhere, but I haven't been able. Anyway, nothing really happened tonight. One of the elite powers was a little shifty, but that's it. She does have wax now, so that's new. And the Vacoma also still has wax, but she was all nice and quiet. So that's the current vibe. Hopefully, this is actually the last bit of medication for some of these babies. I really think that's just why I lost my mojo, is because I had all these alarms set. Like, as soon as I get here, from like 7 to 9, it's just like, you're getting this med, you're getting that med, you're getting that med, because they can't be given at the same time. You have to have a gap in between them. I don't know. I think that's why I lost my mojo. But luckily, this is the last bit. Isn't that right, my little zombie baby? She's like, I have no clue what you're talking about.
But yeah, after 2 days of being uncomfortable, the Mandaloon did in fact gift us a little Mandaloon Colt. He does have a wrap and a catheter in. He's completely fine. We left it in just because we have 2 babies that, you know, have tummy troubles. And so, well, one of them had tummy troubles. He's on the way out. And the other one had it. And so it's just kind of a precaution because we know what's going around. So reality is, if he's fine in 2 days, he's going to get taken out, no problem. But we left it in just in case. If he does start showing symptoms, then I can go ahead and jumpstart fluids and everything and not have to wake up the vet at 2 a.m. to come put a catheter in. Oh, goodness. But yeah, but he's been great. He's been bright, happy, alert, no tummy problems as of right now. So I'm pretty optimistic that he should be fine. Yeah. But listen, she really had me walking for freaking, what was it, for like 2 days, where I was like, yeah, she's gonna go tonight. And then my backup would text me at like 5 a.m. and they're like, where's our baby? I'm like, great question. I don't know. Apparently it's not here. Anyway, like I was saying, the Vacoma
has a little bit of wax, but she's been relatively quiet. And then also I have one of the Elite Powers down here. She was slightly shifty last night and also has wax. So honestly, those two candidates are your best candidates for a weekend kid. But honestly, for the sake of weekend, I kind of hope they don't have a kid, because I will say, for whoever did the scheduling for medications did a really bad job, because they just didn't space it out enough. Because I have baby over there who's like he's done with fluid, so he's just getting a few oral stuff. But then I also have baby over there, and her freaking catheter sucks. Like, I've complained about it every time they send me with that specific catheter. I complained about it, and I tell them, I was like, don't ever send me these catheters again. Send me the other one that you use. And they're like, but it's the same. No, like, it's not the same. I swear to you, it's not. It takes way longer to run fluids in that catheter than the other. Anyway, whoever scheduled it just did a poor job, because honestly, you kind of just bounce back and forth all night, and I always just constantly worry. I was like, I don't have eyes on people. Anyway, it's fine. It's fine. I think I just stressed myself out this week a little bit. I think my brain, for whatever reason, just didn't like, I don't know. It didn't like something. Regardless. That's all I got for this week. I know it was definitely chaotic. I lost my mojo for sure. Oh my gosh, speaking of losing my mojo, I have new horses to introduce you all to. Oh my lord. I'm slacking. It's the whole thing. I didn't even write your name down, did I? No, I didn't. I totally skipped you. Well, I guess we'll start with you. This new mare, well, she's not new. You all saw her last year, but she's carrying an Instagram. In fact, if you remember from last year, she had the really flashy Instagram. This is one of my personal mares. She's the first one of mine that is due. This is Rue. She's carrying an army mule. Who else do I have? Oh my lord. I think I'm ready for my weekend off. This mare is carrying a Gerving. Jeez, my poor brain. Maybe I need coffee, or I need something. This is embarrassing. This mare is carrying an Up to the Mark. I have one more down here. Last but not least is actually my other personal mare. Reality, I think Rue's gonna go first. But America is also here now, and she's carrying a Vacoma. So yes, I do have a few new mares that are inside now. Oh my lord, I can't. My brain is scrambled. I need something. I need a vacation. I need a coffee. I need something. Who knows? Anyway, before I make a bigger fool of myself and ruin things, I'm going to check out for the weekend. And hopefully the weekend will give me some time to get my brain back together, and we'll be on a less chaotic week for next week. So until next time.